Hello, everybody. It's the Backdrop week or bi-weekly design check-in meeting for April 26, 2018. Every 2 weeks, we get together and talk about design tasks that are affecting Backdrop CMS. As always, we kind of solicit these meetings as being like open meetings. If people would like to come in and join us and talk about design-related problems with Backdrop or backdropcms.org or any of our digital properties, then this is the meeting where we discuss those sorts of things. We don't have too many items on the agenda for this week, so it's likely going to be a pretty short meeting. But I'll go over a couple of issues that have been flagged in our agenda and give you some small status updates on those things. First of which is a design issue with the installer, the install.php, which is issue 2873 in the Backdrop issues GitHub issue tracker. And a couple weeks ago, we had that issue updated with new screenshots, and some design suggestions have actually been made in that issue, and I think that they're good ones. And now at this point, that is needing CSS and JavaScript implementation. The general short summary of that one is that on both desktop and mobile, if your Backdrop site has problems installing the table of problems that we show you during the installation, either doesn't look good on desktop or doesn't show you all the information you might need on mobile. And maybe there aren't a lot of people installing Backdrop, from their phone, but nonetheless, being mobile friendly and mobile first throughout the product is, a strong design principle that we should be adhering to, even including silly things like the installer. So that issue actually is, although more design review is always needed, a front ender's hand would be appreciated on issue 2873. Let's see, there's a couple of issues regarding installing modules and the modules page, starting with issue number 37, which I think is our oldest open issue in the Backdrop queue. And this is just a general revamp of the way that the modules page works. Right now, we have the modules page that has a filter up at the top to help you find modules, but in general, it would be nice to make it so that people could find the modules that they're looking for, either by a looser set of categories or tagging, or showing, recently installed modules, things of that nature. But in all cases, I think we're not looking for like a complete replication of the module filter module from 777, which is a little bit over the top. We're looking for something just a lightweight, iteratively improving upon the current modules page. I don't think this issue has seen any activity recently. It has a couple of pull requests, but it hasn't been updated in about a month now. So issue 37, to improve the modules page, could use some more feedback and just general discussion happening in that issue. Also kind of related to installing modules, this new feature was added just this past week in issue 3040, and that's the ability to include screenshots in the installer module. So when you're installing new modules, installing new themes through the user interface in your Backdrop site, we now include screenshots of those individual themes, which is really excellent. I know a couple weeks ago there was a screencast where there was a kind of a smackdown between Backdrop and WordPress and Drupal and Joomla. And although Backdrop got props for being able to install modules through the user interface akin to WordPress, we got a big frowny face for not having screenshots in the browse themes listing page when you're installing themes through your Backdrop site, which is very fair. Turned out we are already actually sending screenshot information in our feeds and we just needed to do a little bit of styling work, or a little bit of theming work to include those screenshots on the installer themes listing page. So issue 3040 has been implemented now, and so now we do have screenshots as you're installing new themes, which is very exciting, or we will in the 1.10 version. But that was done kind of, again, like with little design oversight. And we'd like to improve upon that to make it so that you could have multiple screenshots rather than just pulling the one screenshot that we have out of the theme, like screenshot.ping file. So there's still more room for improvement there, and design-wise, we could probably use some more ideas around like how to display multiple screenshots, how those screenshots should actually be created and managed. Like a lot of those things are really fuzzy right now, but still good improvement. Let's see. Design-related issues on GitHub. I haven't checked this particular tag in a long time. We do have a tag in the backdrop issues tracker for design. It's labeled audience-design. Looks like there's about 25 issues or so that we could use some design feedback on. It looks like some of these are just straight up bugs. Some of them actually require some serious styling. Like this one is near and dear to my heart, issue 2797, which is the basis links when you're looking at the front page of your site, the read more link and comments link and things of that nature. They're not styled in any way, so they just end up stacking on top of each other. So doing something to improve the display of those links would be beneficial to everyone, because you see them right out of the box when you're using the core basis theme. That was issue 2797. So, yep, there's more items there that could be looked at and addressed. If you've got a design eye, please join us on GitHub and take a look at the audience design tag to find issues. Let's see. In the agenda, I also have a section here talking about backdropcms.org, improving the UX for again, modules, themes, and layouts. But these are for finding modules, for finding those kinds of extensions on backdropcms.org instead of through your backdrop installation. And that issue is 442. But there hasn't been any updates there recently, so I'm not going to go over and recap that. Overall, like this agenda is just kind of a quick check-in. It's been a crazy week in backdrop land and in Drupal land. And so I think a lot of people are still out there managing, patching their sites and dealing with things that have gotten hacked this week. So we're going to call it quits for today. You can see Jen's empty chair there. She's dealing with that world right now on their Drupal sites. So that's it for this week or bi-weekly meeting. We'll catch up again in 2 weeks to talk about design tasks. Conceptually, we're working on possibly broadening the scope of this design meeting. Perhaps 2 weeks from now, when we have more time, we're going to build out the agenda to be more comprehensive of not just design tasks, but also all UX tasks. And that might give us more material to cover because our design issues have been our design meetings have been pretty light for a long time now. So by folding in more things like user experience into this meeting, that'll give us a slight variation from the dev meeting, which is just all topics. And we'll bring in things that still can use feedback from a non-developer's perspective, but expand it slightly out from just being design to being design and UX. So you can look forward to that 2 weeks from now. And until then, keep on backdropping. And we'll see you guys if you guys are up for it. We have the dev meeting starting in about 35 minutes. So thank you, everybody.